All right, checkers, we're going to do another Plants vs. Whoa. We're going to do another Plants vs. Zombies drawing?
Yeah.
What are we going to draw, dude?
The sunflower.
Yeah, the sunflower?
Yeah.
Cool. All right, dude, you got your marker?
Yep.
All right, we hope you guys are going to follow along with us. Oh, easy. You did that last time.
It doesn't really come
Don't
off.
pull the marker off like this. All right, we hope you guys are going to follow along with us. You got a piece of paper in front of you, something to draw with. It doesn't have to be a marker. It could be a pencil. You could even use oil pastels. I've seen some of our art friends use a black oil pastel to draw with, and then they color it later. That's a pretty cool idea too. And you could just use a crayon or a pencil if you want. But we're going to use these markers. We love using Sharpies, right?
Yeah.
But be sure to ask your parents before you use a Sharpie. Make sure it's okay with them because these things are permanent, right?
Yeah.
And we always use 2 pieces of paper when we're doing our drawing so that the marker, when we draw, it doesn't go through and onto the table, right? Okay, you ready to start?
Yeah.
Let's do this. Okay, we're going to start with our paper horizontal, and we're going to first draw his face, okay? The big center, and we're going to draw it like this. And the sunflower kind of has cheeks. So it's not quite round, and it's probably not that oval either, but whatever. So I probably would have drawn it a little less like a football, a little taller, but that's okay. The important part is that he's kind of has these cheeks over here. Good job. There you go. And yours is really squished. Awesome, dude. Okay, now let's draw his eyes. And they're just going to be big ovals. And we're going to draw one like this. And then one like this. Good. And get your other one in there. And we'll put little circles off to the top left. Like we always do. And then we color those in. We always put the little white in their eye because it makes the eye look shiny, and I think it makes them look more alive. If you put that little shiny mark in there. Awesome, good. Okay, now let's do his smile. He's got a big one, and it goes like this. Yeah? And then little cheeks, little cheek lines on the side. I like how yours is turning out, dude. Okay, now we're going to do his petals that go around his head, and we're going to do their U shapes like this. And I'm going to skip one. Watch this. We'll do some overlapping, and we're going to do another one right next to it. But we're leaving that little gap there so that we can overlap and put a U right there, or a little curved line there. See how that one looks like it's behind the other two? Is that cool? Yeah. So now I'm going to skip another one like this. And this one's going to be a little bit smaller. And then we'll overlap the bigger one like this. Cool? Then we'll do another one. This one we can just put in there with no overlapping. Let's do a couple without overlapping. So do the big ones, big petals. And then we'll just keep going. You can make them a little bit different sizes. I'm going to do this one a little shorter. See how that one's a little shorter? Mix it up. I'm going to keep going. Do another one. I'm going to skip one over here and then come back and kind of do that overlapping thing. Do another one. Is it starting to look like the sunflower? It's pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
It's pretty easy, too. Keep going. I'm going to skip one and do another overlap down here. And then...
That kind of seems like
do another.
like V's.
Oh, yeah. Some of them kind of turned into V's instead of U's, huh?
Yeah.
That's okay, dude. Totally fine. Okay, now let's go around and we're going to just pick a couple and we're going to put some lines in the middle of the petal. So we'll pick 2 right there, maybe 2 over here. And do 1 down here. Maybe 1 over here. Kind of just doing them random. And I'll put 2 down here. Awesome, dude. Good job. We finished the top part. Now let's do the rest of his body. And we're going to do 2 curved lines right next to each other for the stem. Okay? So we're going to do a curved line. Comes down. And another curved line right next to it that's parallel. Good. Now we're going to do a V that's going to start the leaves. So we'll do one line, curved line that comes out, and then the other part of the V right here curves this way. Okay, now we're going to do the left leaf first. So we can come down and connect the stem back into, you have a little gap right there, you can connect back in. Perfect. Okay, let's do the leaves. The first one is the bottom left one. We'll do a curve down. Do you remember doing the leaves on the pea shooter?
Yeah.
We'll leave a link down below this video in the description to the pea shooter, and we do a lot of the same things. So we do a small V, because there's a little notch cut out of the leaf, and then we'll do a S curve. Here we go. Like that. And then it kind of swirls at the end. Perfect. Good job. Okay, now let's come back over here and we'll bring another line out of the stem. And then we're going to so come back right here to the stem and do a curved line that goes beyond that one. Yep. And then we'll do another V. Actually, let's just do a small line back. And then instead of doing the V, we'll do the curved line that comes all the way back into the swirl. Awesome, you finished the first leaf. It looks sweet. Looks really cool, huh? You having fun?
Yeah.
I can tell you're concentrating. All right, let's do the right leaf next, okay? So we're going to do it similar to the other one we just did. Do a curved line. And then a V. Okay, and then we're going to do an S curve with a kind of a swirl at the end. Cool. Okay, good job. Now we're gonna come back over here to the stem, and we're gonna go all the way. We're not gonna have a notch in this one. I got a little wavy too. Come back and fix this. Good job. That's awesome. All right, now he's got 2 more leaves, and they're in the very back. And so we're gonna come just a small little line that comes out of the leaf or out of the stem, and then a V like that. Okay, and then we'll come back over here. We're going to jump over to this side of the leaf and do an upside down U. Good. And then we'll put another curved line inside, and that's for the back of the leaf. I'll show you. We're going to connect it here. So then we'll come back over to that V and then connect over to the upside down U.
Okay.
Good. Awesome. And then we'll do the middle of the leaf. The line that comes down the middle. So this is the leaf, and it's 3D, and it looks like it's 3D because it's going in the back like that, and then you can see the back side of the leaf or the underside of the leaf. Okay, now let's finish the last leaf, all right?
Okay.
So we're gonna bring a curved line out of the stem right here. I'm gonna curl it down just a little bit more. Good. And then we'll come back up here and we'll do a curved line off that. And then a little V, sideways V. And then a line into the leaf. Good. Okay, now let's do the back side of the leaf right here. And we'll just connect curved line in. Perfect. Okay, now let's do the last step, and it's the center of the leaf. Awesome. Well, check it out, man. That was pretty easy, huh?
Yeah.
We did that quick. And so let's color it. We have to color it just like the pea shooter, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. Okay, we got our colors, right? We got them all picked out. We're going to use a light green, dark green. We're using, it looks like brown, but this is, it says ochre. This is yellow ochre. This is just a regular ochre. So if you're using oil pastels and you have those colors, those are the ones we're using. And those are going to be for the petals. And then we got a light brown. They kind of look the same. And this is a darker brown for shading. And we're going to use that for the center face. Cool?
Okay.
So let's start. We're going to start with his face. And we're going to do a little trick. We're going to shade from the light. We're going to be light up here and then dark down here. So it looks like his face is kind of round. Okay? So we're going to do a light layer of this brown across the whole thing. And we'll speed it up, okay?
Okay.
All right, good job. Okay, now I got the darker brown, and we're going to start down here on the bottom right side of his face and put another layer on top of that light brown. We're going to build this up so that we get this shaded look and make it look round. So I'm going to start, and I start kind of dark on this side, and as I move towards the top left, I'm going to get lighter and lighter. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, now we got that layer on. We're going to do one more layer on top of the whole thing. We get the light brown again, and this time we're going to press firm, and so it smooths out. So it gets that texture, it gets rid of that texture and just blends everything nice and soft.
Okay.
Is that cool? Okay, let's speed it up again.
Right now.
All right, so we finished it and we got our light brown back on top of it, and we kind of I realized that it was still a little too dark than what the regular sunflower is supposed to, or what the actual sunflower is supposed to look like. So we grabbed some of the ochre and did another layer on top of it to lighten it up. And that's one of the really nice things about oil pastels is even though you put a dark color down, you can put another color, a lighter color on top of it. And you usually can't do that with art supplies, so, or like crayons, stuff like that, or markers. If you put a dark marker down, you can't put a light marker on top of it. It'll just still look dark. So that's really fun, the fun part about using oil pastels. So do you want to get your ochre? Sure. And then do another layer on top, and we'll put really hard on this side or press really hard on the top left, and then we'll shade down. And then I also took the yellow, and I did a little line around the bottom right side of his eye here, and then also the bottom part of his mouth. Good job, dude. Okay, so you got yours in there, and we're just going back over some of the black with the black pastel, right? Because when you put the pastel on top of the marker, it blends it and kind of makes it so you can't see it very dark. So this helps going back over it. All right, you ready for the petals?
Yeah.
So we're gonna get a bright yellow, and make sure that it's clean. So we got a scratch piece of paper, and you want to make sure that you got any of the brown that you used that you got on there when you were blending it. Now we got our yellow cleaned off. We're gonna put a line, just a thin line, on the left side of the petals. Okay, so we just put a little line on the left side. And this is going to be a little highlight that we're going to leave on there. All right, and then when we come down on this side of the sunflower, then we'll switch to the top part of the petal. Do you see that? So when we look at the light and imagine the light shining this way, it's reflecting or bouncing off of the right part of the petal. All right, and then I'm just gonna stop there. I'm only gonna do the top left part of the petals. And now let's switch to the yellow ochre, okay? This is the lighter brown, or lighter, it's kind of a dark yellow. and then we're going to fill in the petals with this color, okay? And then leave the highlights on the petal. Don't go over the highlight. Okay, we got our yellow petals all finished, dude. Good job. Okay, now we're gonna do the green, the stems, and the leaf. Okay, so we're gonna get our bright green first, and we're gonna just color the whole thing in solid, and we'll speed it forward. Okay.
Okay.
We'll fast forward, and then we'll do the shading after that. Okay.
Okay.
All right, now we're gonna put the shading on top of the bright green. This is a really bright green, and so we're gonna use this darker green. And this I think was called a green gray, if you have the same color at home. And we're gonna put first thing we're gonna put the shadow on this back left leaf. Okay, so it's kind of a big spot that we're gonna cover up. And just go ahead and put another layer and press firmly, so that it goes on nice and thick. And then also shade in the underside of the leaf over here. Good job. Good. Okay, now you can also put a light layer on top of the part over here. So it's just not as bright. And then you can do another layer of the light green on top of that to kind of smooth it out. That cool? That's a great way if you don't have the exact color, when you're trying to color something at home, and it doesn't have to be this, it could be something else, and you don't have the exact color, you can mix colors to try and make the right color. Cool? Mm-hmm. All right, okay, now let's shade the stem, and we're gonna shade the right side of the stem, and just put a layer on the right side so that it looks like the light's still coming from the left. Good job. Okay, now let's do the back leaf. Back right leaf, and it's almost the whole thing. We're going to shade everything except kind of that back edge, and then fill it in. And then also shade in the underside of the leaf over here. Perfect. Okay, now let's do the front, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to put another layer and press firmly down. And we're just going to shade the right side of this leaf. Okay, now what I'm going to do is put a light layer, because this is really bright. Try to make it so that it's not so bright of a green. Put a light layer over top of that, and then come back with the light green and blend it in. See how that's getting darker? Well, bless you. Now it's art for kids. You always sneeze. Well, not in every single one, but maybe every 5th video I think you sneeze. Now let's do the last leaf, all right? Let's scoot it up so that our art friends can see. And greens, with oil pastels, our greens don't blend. They really don't blend as well as our other colors do. Mm-hmm. But they're still fun to use. So we're gonna blend or put another layer on top of this right leaf, and we'll be done. So I'm gonna do the same thing we kind of did on the right leaf. Put a thick layer on top. We should have probably just followed the same steps we did for the pea shooter, but that's okay. It's kind of fun doing something different. Mm-hmm. So I put a thick layer down, and then I'm going to blend out or put a thin layer down here on this part, and then go back over it with the light green. Okay?
Okay.
Dude, you did an awesome job on that sunflower. Did you have fun?
Yeah.
You promise?
Yeah.
One of the last steps that we did on this was go back over the leaves with a black oil pastel, because we kind of covered up the black marker, right? And it was hard to see that black marker, so we went back over it with an oil pastel to make it look nice and dark. Is that cool?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of a nice little trick you can do at the very end of your art project. This flower is going to go really well with our pea shooter and our zombie, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll leave a link to those videos down below in the description. Be sure to check those out if you haven't drawn those with us yet.
Yeah.
All right. Should we say goodbye?
Yeah.
All right. See you later, our friends. Goodbye.
Bye, friends.